But I believe that by overwhelming majority, you and I, in the long run, and if it be necessary, you and I will act together to protect, to defend, by every means at our command.
Hello and welcome to What the Flock TV. Right guys, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an old video that I've done on Denver Airport. A lot of people have been asking for it. I've been directing them to my old Black Sheep Researcher Odyssey channel, which the video is on. So I thought, you know what, why I can, I'm going to edit, see if I can find anything new since, and I'm going to put it here together and I'm going to bang it up on my YouTube channel, What the Flock TV. So guys, it's going to contain a lot of old stuff that you might have watched if you followed me for a few years, but if not, it's still an interesting, good video just looking at the Denver airport. And like I said, while I'm there, I'll have a look if I can find anything that catches my eye today surrounding it, you know, the surrounding area and things like that. So guys, buckle up and hopefully you'll enjoy.
These days that almost anything can become the topic of conspiracy theories, and that includes one of America's major airports. Opened in 1995, Denver International has long been the subject of wild speculation. Well, when the airport began a major renovation project, they decided it was a chance to play along. Barry Peterson has that story.
Flying saucers have invaded our planet. Washington, London, Paris.
If the saucers ever do come, may we suggest another landing zone, Denver's airport, where some say the welcome signs are already up for gargoyles. And are they really making a new home for the lizard people as workers remodel the main terminal? And why is this guy, well, this thing, shushing us?
It's all out of focus and weird.
Well, one may say these are the type of visitors that we have underground in our facility.
Stacy Stegman is the airport spokesperson.
What's really going on?
What's really going on is we are revitalizing our terminal, improving security, creating additional capacity so that we can serve our passengers into the future.
Okay, that's boring. This is a lot more fun, just for the record.
Exactly.
They even post on social media when aliens roam the airport. Since it opened in 1995, America's fifth busiest airport has swirled with conspiracy theories. How the runways make a swastika. How the blue Mustang statue earned the nickname Blucifer after it fell over and killed the artist. And then the murals. Some show peaceful times, some show apocalypse. If art is in the eye of the beholder, conspiracy investigative journalist Jay Widener beholds doom.
City underwater, flaming forests. This is scary stuff.
It's telling people in the know what this airport is all about.
This theory says baggage handlers share basement space with a secret underground railroad to bunkers in the Rocky Mountains, where top government officials will survive nuclear war.
I heard that it's maglev. The whole thing is
Magnetic levitation.
Magnetic levitation.
And as the airport has some chuckles with conspiracy, there is the cat in the hat. Poor thing.
I'm sorry, but this is a cat with a tin hat. Like, is that the imagery that Denver wants to project?
zombie cat lairs.
Would you really believe this?
Well, people do.
Do you?
I'm not going to comment on that. So the next time an extraterrestrial needs a lift home,
phone home.
We now know the perfect airport to jump that flight. For CBS This Morning Saturday, Barry Peterson, Denver.
I love that the Denver airport has a sense of humor about itself.
They certainly do. Can't get that image now of the cat out.
Right, so you saw that clip actually when the little tour on the news that going around the airport, and you can see the nature of the airport, the people in the airport, they're playing on the dark side of the airport, the conspiracies. They're actually promoting it, and this is on Denver website, Denver airport, and I'm just going to go a few things with you just to show you how much they are playing on it, and they're not bothered. They're laughing in your face basically. So it says you may or may not have heard Denver airport's got some secrets, hence the hypocrites. Since the airport's opening in 1995, there has been endless rumours and theories. People say our underground tunnels lead to secret meeting facilities for the world's elite. Our blue horse is thought to be cursed. Some believe we are connected to the New World Order and Freemasons. Some people even say that we are home to a colony of lizard people. So you can see how they're playing on it. I mean, just look at some of the images they're putting on their own website. Conspiracy 1. The airport was built by the New World Order. Naturally, people think that because a dedication marker and plaques around the airport claim it was funded by the New World Airport Commission. Never heard of them, don't feel left out. It seems no one has. After some digging, it was discovered that no such group exists. Not now, not when the airport was built, not ever. So rather than writing it off as nothing, people have jumped up to the conclusion that it's actually grouped within the New World Order. Sketchy, it says. And that's coming up. So why have a plaque? Why accept a plaque that has a New World Order on it if it doesn't exist? Would you not say to the airport or to the Freemasons that give the plaque? I'm assuming they give the plaque. Excuse me. You're putting something on our airport, we're not going to check if it's actually correct. No, you don't, do you? So what a lot of bollocks. So move on. So next one, conspiracy number 2. The airport contains the Illuminati headquarters. These are the images that they're using. The all-seeing eye. Remember those plaques we just talked about? Well, there's one place over a time capsule that has also a Masonic square, a compass symbol, and an inscription that gives the time capsule's contents to the people of Colorado in 2094. All symbols of Freemasonry. Oh yes, the Illuminati. Additionally, the airport building costs were more expensive than originally thought. Theorists believe the money went to building the headquarters. Rumour has it they screwed up the first buildings, and instead of getting rid, they just buried them and built on top of them to make one super cool, super secret underground lair. Conspiracy number 3. The artwork contains clues to the apocalypse. You've seen them, and many confused look, wondering why, how, what really. They are the interesting pieces of art decorating the airport. The glowing gargoyle sculptures, the big blue horse sculpture, and perhaps most notably, the 28-foot wide murals. It is theorised that these are clues to the sinister influence of the airport. The aforementioned Freemasons, Illuminati, and New World Order. The blue horse glowing eyes are often interpreted as a reference to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, plus its creator, Luis Jimenez, died while making it. Also, you saw this going through social media for years. I can't but say this has never been at the airport. You'll see it on many channels, they include it, and obviously it's a famous, it's gone viral artwork of basically children in face masks from all around the world. I'll show you the image on the screen. It's been on here for a minute or so. This is not at the airport. You'll see videos and people state it's at the airport. I've had people tell me who live there it's at the airport. It's never at the airport. It was made by a Filipino artist called CJ Trinidad. And you can reverse image search this. and I've showed you this to people on social media over the years since it came out. It's not at the airport. Would I love it to be at the airport? Yes, because it then grounds more to the nature of the airport. But we have to say, when things are not what they are, it's not right, guys. It's not there. It's not there. And we have to, all put our hand up, because we've all done it once or twice in our lifetime. We just post things without, checking the backstory. So the artwork contains clues to the apocalypse. You've seen them, you've given them a mini confuse. Also, I've read that bit. Yep. So, conspiracy number 4. Speaking of the apocalypse, we're ready for it. Why would you put this on? In addition to the Illuminati HQ, it is rumoured that there are several underground baggage tunnels just waiting to house the world's elite when the world comes to an end. Lizard people, aka reptoids, and evidence of aliens are also thought to be down there. Apparently, they have been drawing on the walls. Silly aliens, stop with the graffiti. Why would you play on it? Because it's mocking, and they're carrying on. So what's to come? Are we expanding the bunkers, revamping the lizard lairs, giving the gargoyles a much needed makeover? Not exactly. But if that's what you want to believe, we're not going to hinder your imagination. So dream on, travellers, dream on. See the messages in the defines. Are we creating the world's greatest airport or preparing for the end of the world? These are all done by them. Coming soon. A secret portal to the underworld. Streamlined security, another misunderstood mural. Why would you play on this? It's an airport, you don't want to be seeing these things. Because some people are nervous as it is. I mean, they've even had Anubis, the god of, Anubis, god of death, there. And they're talking about secret ports of the underworld. My oh my. So streamlined or security or more secrets. What are we doing? Adding amazing new restaurants and bars, building an Illuminati headquarters, remodelling the lizard people's lair. Construction or cover up. Cool new areas to hang out or Area 52. What are we creating? More space for interesting artwork, a better airport experience, zombie cat lairs. Under construction or underground tunnels. What's happening behind the wall? Gargoyle breeding grounds, top secret Freemason meeting, an improved airport experience. Yes, Den's got some secrets. Since the airport's opening in 1995, there have been endless rumours and theories. People say our underground tunnels lead to secret meeting facilities for the world's elite. Our blue horse is thought to be cursed. Yeah, I've read that out. So you can just see they're really, really playing on it. And again, with the Harper creates, as I've said, the new concessions or new conspiracies. So you can see that is on their own website for anyone to read. The mischievous nature of me would say, yeah, if I was a business and people were doing that, I would play on it to torment people. But when you're going to an airport and things are of that nature, this is just going over and aboard. They're mocking us, basically. And I just had to show you this little bit because it was on their own website. So let's start with basically the designer of Blucifer, because that's one of the first images that we see basically when we think of Denver Airport is Blucifer, and that was a nickname given to it because obviously it killed its designer and sculptor Luis Jimenez, and basically the head I believe fell off, severed an artery in his leg, and he died. Now he died at 65, which, as you know me and my research, adds to 11. It's a doorway, it's a gateway, it's a number they like to use to transit from one story to another, and that's what got me about this, his age, 65. So as you know, Blucifer got put up in Denver in front of the airport, and here's just a few images of it getting erected. Now what got me was it got erected, and come on guys, and anyone with a dirty mind, it got erected on February the 11th. Again, another 11. Now he also, the commission for this was in 92, again adding to 11. So these 11s are everywhere, we just have to be able to spot them. Now he's done a lot of sculptures in his career, and here's just some of them that I found, and I want to put on the screen for you guys to just check out. And if you want to look at any more, just obviously type his name and sculptures and you will get a few of his images. Now obviously it's at Denver Airport, hence why we're talking about Denver. And here's the site from Google Earth, and what just made me go was that the road in front is called the Penna Boulevard. I believe it means wings, feathers, or rock or crag, depending on which language you want to look at. But what got me is that the road in front, if you round it up, it's 11.11 miles, but so I'm just saying 11, another 11. Crazy, isn't it, when you start seeing all these 11s? And a few years they had a toll road, and the toll road is E470. Yes, another hidden 11. And guess what, whether that's its name or the mileage for the E, it's 47 miles long. And I'll just put an image of it there, and it's just a circular, and it's going around Denver, and obviously the airport is in its corridor. So I just thought, too many 11s not to put in this quick clip showing you and talking about obviously the artist died at 65 being 11, and all the connections I've seen with that.
Brad Byrne is living out his retirement, while one of his most iconic buildings lives on, welcoming people from all over. He admits he doesn't catch much of the news out of Denver. He's too busy enjoying these views.
That's what I have not heard.
When I called him up, the retired architect didn't know about the messy situation involving the airport terminal he helped build. Denver airport officials ended a contract to renovate the Great Hall, firing the team 13 months after breaking ground.
So now I know. Oh, I'm sorry for all of you in Denver.
Brad Byrne wanted to talk with us for one reason.
I hate to see that building getting trashed.
He says DIA is still very much part of his DNA, and he hates to see it like this.
You're being welcomed by confusion.
And now it's like telling you to go outside.
By chaos, by dust, by dirt, by construction, by corridors that take you to wherever you need to go and all that sort of stuff. It's not a very friendly experience at all.
It's not how he designed the terminal. He says flying is stressful enough. He wanted to make sure the terminal was welcoming and easy to navigate.
Taken your front door and you've trashed it. And what does that say to the rest of the world, you know? Yeah, if you come to Denver, good luck.
Brad Byrne believes somewhere along the way, someone deviated from the airport's master plan. A plan he says took growth into account and called for a second terminal to the south of the current one.
I make no sense of it, quite frankly. But I'm sitting here, 3 hours away from Denver, and that's easy to criticize, and I'll be the first to admit that. But When people don't follow a very good plan that was already worked out by a lot of very smart people, you got to wonder what's going on.
Another theory, well, we all know the conspiracy theories about the airport. Maybe the project is cursed. Maybe there's some other forces at play. We had to ask.
Now, all that conspiracy theory is absolutely true. That's what I tell everybody. There's thousands of miles of empty space down there with tunnels going all the way to Kansas. Please.
Joking aside, he says it will take strong leadership and the right team to fix the Great Hall.
I don't ever want to suggest that I ever had the ability to untangle that mess. It ain't me, I can tell you that. I'm too old for that stuff now.
With problems plaguing the project, he worries about the airport's image and Denver's reputation.
Meanwhile, the building just sits there, limps along, and doesn't get done and back up and running and as a space that is inviting and comforting and the front door of Denver.
A space that should be welcoming travelers, not confusing them. Liz Gilardi, Denver 7.
I was once a little child who longed for other worlds, but I am no more a child, for I have known fear. I have learned to hate how tragic then is youth, which lives with enemies, with gallows and ropes. Yet I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake up a child again and start to laugh and play. something else they're famous for. And these are what you see on the screen. One looks like a humanish, devilly type, and the other like a griffin. Now these are two bronze gargoyles perched inside suitcases that loom over the east and west baggage claim area. Emphasis on the east and the west. So let's have a close little look, and you can see this one like a griffin looking gargoyle. Now the Masons symbolically journey from the west to the east in search of light, and this is what gets me to the one from the east to the west in search of that which was lost. So this is why they've put it in there, and you can, as you can see, you can call it a devil or whatever you want, but I believe it's a little bit more than that, and that's just a little theory I've had for a long time. And here's the one that's looking more human-esque. It does have a tail also, it does look like a devil type. But what if it's a cherub? And in Jewish, Christian and Islamic literature, a celestial winged being with a human, animal or bird-like characteristics who functions as a throne bearer of the deity. But also something else, and I'm going to read something else now that you might go, flaming sword. Now in Freemason, the flaming sword is representative of the sword carried by the cherubim, who guarded the entrance to the Tree of Life and the Garden of Eden, and who also drove Adam and Eve from the garden due to their transgressions. However, this may be only tip of the iceberg when it comes to symbolism of the flaming sword. Why am I going on about a flaming sword, you may ask? Well, what if you've already got the cherubim or the gargoyles in the airport, east and west? If only there was a flaming sword. And this is the west in the hotel, but it's part of the hotel and transport links underneath. That's not a sword, Paul. Let's go above. There we go, another little zoom out. Tell me that is not a flaming sword. Because I'm telling you what, there's nothing where you look away, you can look around it. That to me is an illuminated flaming sword. Put that together with its location, east and west, the baggage gargoyles, the cherubim. I think I'm onto something with that, and I just had to include this just to raise your eyebrow a slight little bit.
That's a little too close for comfort, lady.
Oh, damn.
What, you never seen a talking gargoyle before? Welcome to Illuminati headquarters. I mean, Denver International Airport.
This is awesome.
Hello? Do I know you?
Are you hungry?
Oh, I'm starving. You got anything for me? Those flowers look delicious.
Oh my God. Oh, it's because of the conspiracy.
Oh, it's because of the conspiracy. Look at me. I'm a little know-it-all. Will you get back over here? I got a question about this conspiracy. Did you have to buy an extra seat for your hat, sir? Sir, are you stealing a desk? Sir, you have resting, confused face. Do you have a favorite animal or pet?
A caterpillar.
A caterpillar? Wouldn't you rather have a gargoyle?
No!
Yes. You know, you can actually put the phone down and have a conversation with me. But no, I'm a millennial. I've got to post it. I've got to snap face it and Twitter book it. Excuse me, miss, I've got a stain that needs some polishing. Can I borrow your cleaning cart?
Oh, no.
I need your help. Guess what my favorite food is?
What?
No, I want you to guess.
Cumin?
Cumin. Yes, I love cumin.
I said human.
Oh, I thought you said cumin. I'm a real big spice guy. Furry hat guy. I can't believe you are wearing one of my friends.
Hey, this isn't your friend.
It used to be until you put it on your head, man.
How old are you?
Well, 243 years old now. I look good for my age, don't I?
Yeah, you work out?
All the time. You should see my squats.
You're such a sweet talker.
Will you take me back home with you?
Let's go. I have some space in my backpack.
Actually, I think you have too much baggage for me.
found this from Masonic Journal online. A sword whose blade is of a spiral or twisted form is called by the heralds a flaming sword, from its resemblance to the ascending curvature of the flame of fire. Until very recently, this was the form of the tiller's sword. Carelessness or ignorance is now in many lodges substituted for it a common sword of any form. The flaming sword of the tiller refers to the flaming sword which guarded the entrance to paradise as described in Genesis. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned everywhere to keep the way of the tree of life, or as Raphael has translated it, the flaming sword which revolveth to guard the way to the tree of life. In former times, when symbols and ceremonies were more respected than they are now, when collars were worn and not ribbons in the buttonholes, and when standing column of the senior warden and the recumbent one of the junior during labour to be reversed during refreshment were deemed necessarily for the complete furniture of the lodge. The cavalry sword was unknown as a Masonic implement, and the tiller always bore a flaming sword. It was better if we could get back to those old customs. So that's just from a journal that I found, just to talk to you about the tiller sword and the flame sword being one and the same. So this terminal, this hotel terminal, is east of the main airport. And whether you believe it's a tiller sword, the flaming sword, one and the same as I'm talking about, reminded me of this verse. It was driven out, and east of the Garden of Eden were stationed the cherubim, and the fiery ever turning sword to guard the way to the tree of life. Now, people have talked about the tree of life, the Garden of Eden being in America. Now it's guarding, the sword is guarding. It's guarding the doors. What number is doors? That I've really shown this realm to be the realm of L11. So what's Colorado got to do with an 11? Well, I've showed you a few things already, but what the biggest one that I found is, do you guys know what state Colorado is? And obviously Denver is a part of. Denver and Colorado, the state, is the 38th state. Maths is not my strong point, but 3 add 8 equals 11. The doorway, the significant nature. So there is this huge flaming sword guarding the doorway, which is the 11th state. And if you go off this, the Garden of Eden will be east of Denver in whatever proportion we look. So that's quite intriguing, isn't it? And I just had to include this little bit on that just to get the juices flowing and not go too much into this, because obviously I just wanted to talk about the airport. So another intriguing or thing at the airport is the Masonic Capstone. It was in my little intro, and as you can see, it's there, and it has a braille option above it, basically telling you what's on it. And it's basically, it was opened or donated on this day, March 19th 1994. The governor of Denver or Colorado was there, as well as the mayor, who that road was named after. But what intriguing bit of it is, under the date, the New World Airport Commission. And as you was reading out before, no one knows who it is. It doesn't exist. It's just one of those things that we put in the airport. We don't like to talk about this, but the New World Airport Commission, it's like, come on guys, you're just trying to play on the myth. You're trying to invoke fear and intrigue, all the emotions about the Illuminati. I've showed you, they love mocking you. Now, what's intriguing about this date that everyone goes, ooh, March 19th, the World Airport Commission, is the fact that you got it. There's some significance to that day. Yep, you got it. It's a festival to Minerva, the goddess of wisdom and justice, and she's also the goddess of justice, law, victory, and the sponsor of arts, trade and strategy. Minerva is not a patron of violence such as Mars, but of strategic war. Now, what's significant is Minerva is also the symbol they use, the owl, on, you got it, the Illuminati seal. So there is a connection straight away for you guys there. But also just to show you about strategic war. March 19th is the day Bush ordered airstrikes on Baghdad, thus launching the Iraq War to oust dictator Saddam Hussein, who was believed wrongly to be manufacturing weapons of mass destruction. So it's just showing you the significance of this day about strategic war, and also linked to Minerva's festival. That's the day the basically put this capstone there on the March 19th 1984. So it's showing you the significance, the ties to Freemasonry, the ties to the Illuminati, and the ties to Minerva. So I want to go back a little bit to the Cherubim, the Flaming Sword, Eden, the airport. Obviously the connection I was talking about, yes, it's just theorizing. I'm not actually saying it could be, they could be talking about it, you know, metaphorically, or who knows. I don't know anything, as I say, I'm winging it. But I do like to use a stretch or a coincidence to my better, because it's just something, you know, when it plants a seed and you just have to look at it. So I thought, you know, I'm going to go back quickly to look at this, because as you remember, the Cherubim drove out Adam and Eve and guarded to the east, and that's where basically the Flaming Sword is. And if I'm not going to go into too much detail, but Adam literally means red, and there is an etymological connection between Adam and Adamar, Adamar being red clay or red ground. In a non-theological context in traditional Jewish theology, a strong etymological connection between the two is often assumed. So obviously we know red earth, red, so emphasis on the red from Adam. That got me thinking, is there anything red in Colorado? And obviously you have the rocks and the earth in some places, but I didn't know this. And I went, wow. So where did the word Colorado come from? Colorado's name has its origins in the Spanish language as the word for coloured red. The name was chosen for Colorado as a territory in 1861 by Congress and became a state in 1876. So with theorising here about them using this location, using a flaming sword, cherubim, and both are connected to red. That blew me away. And just for, as people say, shit and giggles, you can do it now. I won't put it on the screen because, you know, I don't know how accurate it is. But there's 32 Edens in America, I believe. There is an Eden about an hour away or so from Denver Airport in the Pueblo region. And I went, So if you're thinking of Eden, E-D-E-N, I thought, you know what, they like to mirror things. So let's use N-E-D-E, Nede, Eden backwards. And again, about 50 minutes away by car, so, you know, quite close in Colorado is Neder or Nederland. And I'm like, wow. So, you know, where you look at it, there is like an Eden connection, whether it's actually further afield. But a lot of people on a lot of channels are looking into Eden and significant stuff going on in the Americas. And I just found this fascinating, that the Freemasons are putting the Tiller Sword or the Flaming Sword, whatever you want to call it, with two cherubim at this location, remember, and it being a doorway in basically, you know, in gematria being 11, you know what I mean, and that 11 connection. I just found it was far too much not to just include in the video and see, you know, where the pieces lie. I just found it fascinating, and that little connection with Eden and Adam and Colorado being red, so all in the same. See what you guys think. So I want to finish off with this, guys, because I've been on this a while anyway, and as you know, I've posted on my YouTube, and I like to show a little bit different, also shows some of the things that is known for Denver Airport. And obviously what you can see here is AUAG, which, as we all know, is the symbols for gold and silver. Now you can go into about this a lot, but when I've covered it, I've just talked about how gold and silver adds to, you got it, 11 in gematria and the gateway and all that. So I just wanted to include that a little bit to remind you. And if you've not watched The Realm of 11, for anyone who's new to the channel, please check it out. There's 3 or 4 videos in a row on that will blow your mind, that a lot of big channels are starting to look into now because of me, and it just makes me proud. So AUAG can mean a lot of things. Also, people have talked over the past, and I have to include this just because this is what people have talked about. It could resemble the Australian antigen, biological warfare, and that's what a lot of people have been saying. But like I said, I like to be a little bit different. Also near this, and I can't corroborate this, is also this that's found on the floor. Now some say this dit guy or guy is underneath this painting. Again, I can't corroborate this, but I have to tell you guys, and I believe it could be, they say that this saying, and there's a few other sayings, mean in Navajo the mountain that is white. Obviously you can see some of these images, and we can see something that resembles in this. I'll leave that up for you guys to say it, but and again, I love to be as honest as I can, and I don't know how accurate this is, but I still have to show you because I went So as we know, that word dit gayi I found on the translation, as you can see, but this says doorway to hell, but it is from professional translators and enterprises web pages. It's human contribution, so it could be like Wikipedia. People can edit it. I just don't know. But I thought that was raised an eyebrow, because obviously doorway to hell from that saying, whatever it is, if it is in Latin, because they did have Anubis who guards as well as the doorway to hell that I've mentioned previously. So that saying on the floor near the painting, but also gay could be doorway to hell, and you have the Anubis connection, is rather raising eyebrow moment. So I just had to include that before I quickly talk about my thoughts. Hopefully you've enjoyed this bit of difference, this bit of old and bit of new mixed into one, and hopefully I've give you guys something to ponder on.
They call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome to What the Flock TV. Yes, it's dark, it's not night time. We're in a storm. I think it's Storm Babbitt, I think they're calling it, and it's really dark. And yes, it's the morning, but it looks like night time over here. So hopefully you can see me, which I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, ladies and gents, but here we go. So firstly, I want to say thank you for everyone who's liked, shared, subscribed. We're really getting heavily YouTubed, really censored, and I just thank you for the love and the support that you guys show me. It's what keeps me here. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I feel like just walking away, but you know, because you guys show me so much love, it's what keeps me going on a day-to-day basis, because life is hard, as we all know it. So I want to thank everyone for the support. I want to thank everyone who has bought me a coffee. Really does help in these times, it really does. So truly appreciate to everyone who has done that, and if you want to do that, the link is in the description. I'm not going to premiere this because it's a mostly old one with a few new bits in, and hopefully you guys will appreciate that and enjoy it. And I made a comment on my community, just letting you know I'm not going anywhere, but I'm just, you know, slowing down a little bit. Sometimes I'll actually speed up. I'm just leaving it down to how I used to do it. When I feel and when I can do it, I will do something. And I just appreciate you guys still having me back. A lot have left when I took the spanner off moderators, and you just showed you who your true friends and people who watch you back. So thank you guys, and on with the video. We're mad, aren't we? But hopefully a good mad. So what can you say about Denver Airport that is not being said? I try and keep an honest approach to my research. If I think things I can't prove, I will say it, like in the video. I don't know if this is her, I don't know if that is her, because in the community we do have a lot of people, not intentionally, because there is not, because we all post stuff sometimes without looking and we learn from our lessons, but there is a lot of people posting shit out there, not even bothering or don't care. For instance, the mural with the face mask for COVID, that's never been there. I had people who lived in Denver saying it was there, and I proved it, and they wouldn't back down. But that's what it is. We're getting a lot of this lately, especially with AI, and it is harming the credibility of you guys, good honest researchers that are, let me just click this off the screen, get off my screen, don't you know I am recording? And it's hurting the credibility, because if you people are out there championing the cause for being open-minded and looking into topics like this, although it's an old topic, if you're showing people this and the COVID mask and saying it is there, or there was another one that was showing you like people trying to get out of a pit, and I was showing people that it was in Australia. So these things don't help our cause, because when we're trying to get new people to the cause, because we need fresh blood, we need the impetus, the fresh eyes, because fresh eyes always help to spot things that we don't see, because a lot of it is perspective. And I like to show people Denver because it's one of the good old topics. It's been around for a while, a lot of people have done research on it, and some of the things I've included this I've not seen anyone talked about. Touch wood. Touch wood. And people will have. So it's always good to just come back to it, and we have a surge of it. A lot of people were asking for this video and saying we can't find it on your channel, Paul, but it's not. It was on the Black Sheep Research Odyssey, and instead of sending them the link like I was doing, I thought, you know what, I'll re-edit it, because I'm learning to edit a little bit better as I'm getting older, and see if I could find anything else new and put it together, just to make it palatable. And all of the news clips that are you only use under fair use is essential to showing you just what the agenda of the cabal, the Elshites, is to hide and mock us in plain sight. Because sometimes, for instance, in the video, in that news clip, it was talking about ET phone home, and you can type that into the interwebs and it'll say ET didn't say that, it was home phone. And then if you Google it, which I did, I thought, oh, it's a Mandela this. I mean, in fact, with a bit of research, the internet will say he doesn't say home phone, yet at the end he does say home phone. Not the big scene, it's the girl that says it, I believe, and then he says home phone and then at the end he does say it. So we have to watch what we post and say, because I was like, hey, look at that, and no, he actually does say it, but at the end. And I was talking to my good friend Ryder about this, and he said, you want to check the end before you put it in the video, and it did, and it was there. So we do need to keep grounded in me, because I get really excited like a little kid. I just forget, and I have to show people. So that's why it's good to be objective, take a step back, don't be too emotionally involved on this topic. And like I say, it is a good old topic, Denver Airport. Why would you have these murals of death, New World Airport Commission? Well, but that doesn't exist, so why put it on? Why put it on a plinth, a capstone? Why would you? Because they want to promote that, ooh, that secrecy, that secret, the hypocrites, the ethos that this is an Illuminati base. And it does, you're paying power to it. And it goes with any topic, unfortunately. There's a fine line between showing people and giving credence and giving it power, giving it energy. There's always a fine balance of, you know, on any topic. But, you know, when I looked at this again and found the about the Eden thing, I was like, wow. Because originally, years ago, I think it was 3 years I made the Revisited, and another year before or two that I made the original, because I made the original on the black sheep and then I made the Revisited because I wanted to look at it a little bit more deeply, because people were talking about that, the Hovid mural being there, and it wasn't. I mean, they got enough strange art there anyway, they don't need any more, but that would have been the icing on the cake. I did want that there, and then looking into it and finding it's not there, it was like people, big members of the community, are posting this and including it in videos. And this is fine, doing your videos and theorising, putting your own opinions in there, that's cool, but deliberately misleading is another thing. I mean, you can say these videos I make are shite, bollocks, crap, rubbish, which is an opinion, but I don't mislead anyone. I just say, listen guys, this is what I believed, or this is what I found, this might be a bit dodgy, blah blah blah, as you saw in this video. And that's how it should be. There's no harm in that. So, you know, there's no point me saying I wish people in the community would do this. They don't care. I mean, when you're in a community where the idols are rapists and paedophiles, that says a lot. So it's not going to be about the honour and of posting something that is correct. You know what I mean? So that's another reason why I'm taking a step back. I'm tired of swimming in the cesspit. You know what I mean? And it's no good for you. Do you know what I mean? I've tried my best to show people the way forward. Be honest as you can, integrity, have some morals. People don't want to know. Leave them to it. Just get on with my thing when I can. And that's all you can do, guys. And you can't do it without support. Your support is essential. It's the energy that we need to help us get out. So, like I was saying, this good old topic really gets you. This is like one of the first things people do looking, and they've started now to put murals in airports all around the world, because I think there's another one in, is it Tel Aviv, I think, that is slightly dodgy to say the least. So more and more airports are putting these things in, and we have to forget that ports, with the seaports, portas is associated with the Llanos, and ports. So they're just ports of the land for the air, as we have the ports for the ships. So that's why you have slightly different rules, because it's a port. And it's intriguing me with this one is the symbolism that they use. They really are playing on it. Now sometimes when you're playing it too much, you're over showing your hand. And is it do something here while you don't see what's going on here? That's the old adage. That's what it can be, because they really are promoting the ET line, the Illuminati, the secret society, the domes being built underneath, and so on and so on. They really are pushing that. And is that to hide things in plain sight, or is it to take your eye off another ball? So you just have to think these things. I mean, when I started researching and finding out a lot of the L11s in this society, you know, in this realm, to find that the guy who built Blucifer, the Jimenez, killed on the 65th birthday, went, there's an 11 straight away, a gateway, doorway, where they like to announce things and transition stories, and they like a false flag type of thing. They want to do an event like this, so they try and get an 11 in there somewhere. He was 65. It was erected. Come on, guys. It was erected on February the 11th. Again, another 11th. And it was commissioned in 92. That's what it said on the interwebs. No, commissioned in 1992. Commissioned in 92 to get the 11 in. So you got all those 11s, and then the Penna Boulevard that goes around it is 11 miles long. Are these just coincidences? Is this like a pareidolia that I'm seeing? Sometimes I do think yes, but sometimes I don't. I'm thinking, no, I'm onto something. And more people are starting to look into this and taking it further, which is brilliant. It's always good to know people think you're not partially or totally crazy. So that 11 got me straight away. So then when you find out that the statue killed him, that's what originally gets you. Oh, the statue killed him, and they named it Blucifer. And obviously how he built, and he's built a few others, and but that gets you. And they have a few horses around, even at the Smithsonian. I think it's very similar but on a smaller scale, and not blue. I think this horse he had ideas of doing it yellow or pink, which I wonder how that would have gone. So all those 11s got me to start with. Then you find out obviously about the new toll, well, not the toll road as well that goes around it, adding to an 11. It's like, wow, they're really pushing the gateway, the doorway number. Then you find out that Colorado is the 38th state. You're like, nah, you can't make this shit up. I mean, you have in 1913 and 1916, something like that. And you'd have saw it if you followed me on Twitter. I posted a few articles, not the one that was about this, but they talk about how they had the biggest influx of Knights Templar and Masons in the state of Denver. I don't know if they've been beaten that since, but they had up to 90,000 of them, Knights Templars and Freemasons in Denver for the biggest conclave ever. And if I remember, because it's always different when I'm in talk, so I think I'm about 13 minutes 50 in of my talk. Let me write that down, and if I remember, I will put the image on the screen. Please remember. So if you don't know about it, it's an old article saying that how many Knights Templar they had, and it was the biggest conclave ever in existence of history. So that shows you the significance of the state to have so many Knights Templar and Masonic people turn up for this event. So tie that in with the 38 and having all these Knights Templar and other associate knights, swords. We have the hotel and transport links and the hub, whatever it's called, to the east of the airport, which when you talk about East and West in Masonic, I put that in. So that intrigued me straight away about putting the two gargoyles on east and west of the baggage claim, like lost and found type of thing. And you're like, wow, well, gargoyles, you put in etymology, I believe it's derived from a story about a dragon, Gargoyle or something like that. A priest or a bishop basically said to a prisoner of some sort, if you do this, we'll give you a pardon. And they were trying to catch a dragon, and that's where the gargoyle came from. But also, when you look at the gargoyles, one's like human-esque Satanist type of look from old images in the medieval times, and obviously like a griffin type. And it got me intrigued about, could there be cherubim? Because obviously cherubim have 4 faces, but one or the other, and the description is like that face. And that's when I first, few years ago, found the flaming sword. Because when I looked at it above, I thought, why has no one else mentioned? They might have since, obviously, but at the time when I originally did the original one, no one was talking about it. Why is no one talking about how this hub looks like a huge sword? Because obviously the symbolic nature of a sword is absolutely bouncing down. Why are they not talking about swords? And it does look like it's flaming because of the lights. So when you look into that nature of the flaming sword, find it's connected to the 2 cherubim who drove Adam and Eve out also and guard it. And it's in that position where they're talking about guarding to the east. You're like, the symbolic nature of that, and then you twig in your head, the little light bulbs go, meow. That a lot of people have talked about Eden and other things being in America. They're like, is it Eden not far from there, what they associate Eden with, or is it just a symbolic nature? Is the flaming sword just guarding the dome, the deep underground base, symbolically? You don't know, because they get a lot of energy from spells. And showing you the flaming sword is showing you the Masonic connection, which obviously they have from the plaque. The plinth, the capstone. That intrigued me. Again, it's just me theorising. Some people will be typing, "Oh, that's a stretch." So be it. I like doing the stretches because it makes me think. And these make people think who watch this with an open mind. Not baby shambos, little snowflakes that love to just complain for complain's sake. So that got me, and then I'm like, I remembered Adam, whether it's right or not, but it's still out there, the information is still out there, that Adam's name means red earth, from the earth, red skin. And I thought, red. It's always intriguing because when we look into societies, it's always red and blue, isn't it? And you have obviously Blucifer there, there's the red and blue. I'm like, could Colorado have anything red? And obviously you do know about some of the rocks being the reddy orange colour. But I did know this, and I said in the video that etymology wise it comes from the Spanish meaning red. And you're like, dang. Adam, made. And you're like, could that be any hint to connections of the red and the flaming sword being in the gates? Garden Eden, is Eden nearby, or is it in a state 2 states away, but on the axis of being, this doorway's of east of Eden, and then you're seeing Eden as a town below, because you can, I can't remember which way north was on it. I know north is that way, but on this map I don't think it showed you. But it was intriguing that an Eden was nearby, and just for shit and giggles, like I say in the video, I'm like, Eden, Nede, or Need, and there's a Netherland, because that's what it kept coming up on the search engine. I was putting Nederland in, it was keep coming up Netherland, Netherworld, Netherlands, the low, so like, wow. So they have like that weird connection. You look at some of the towns nearby, some of the names, and it's like, whoa, so it just gets you thinking, what is that sword being built? Because they didn't have to build it like a sword. They built that as a sword, Attila's sword, the flaming sword, for a reason. To show their power, to show their allegiance, to show... Remember, architecture can be a symbol. Symbols, sigils, and the power of a symbol. Remember, as I just not long did, make sure that, and that's all I want. I just want people to think, whoa, does look like a sword, so why build a sword? And then the connections with the 2 gargoyles could be cherubim. Who knows? It's just me flexing my brain muscles and theorising, and if you can hear the wind, it's just against the window. It's always nice, isn't it, when you're inside and you see people getting drowned. That might be just my nature sometimes. Like, nice and dry, having a nice drink. So that got me intrigued. Really did. And then you tie that in then with all the 11s, and there would have been loads more, but I didn't want to go overboard on it. Which, remember, the 11 represents the doorway, and you just go, Garden Eden, or the tree of life, tree of knowledge. Why did he put that sword there, and what could be underground, what could be nearby? And I know obviously a lot of other good channels have done things on Eden and Atlantis and different things being in the United States. So I thought that was intriguing, and hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I mean, some of the other things that I found were certain writings in the floor. Obviously you had there's a little module, Mr. Miyagi. So when we have the AU-AG, meaning gold and silver adding to 11, gold and silver, people talk about how it really the hyphenated or the broken down word for Australian antigen, biological weapons, and they always talk about how the gold sign and silver sign is near the biological mosaic mural. So I don't believe it's that, but it could be, because I'm just winging it, and you just go for what you believe. So when you have that, and then you have that other sayings on the floor, and it's supposed to be in Navajo, and it's supposed to say that, the mountain that is white, could be. I don't know, but when I put into search engine, it could come up with the doorway to hell. And again, I would be brutally honest, sometimes these things get edited for this reason, because if I don't know what a site was, you can just type, if you type in that guy or gayu, it'll come up straight away for you. And I don't know how accurate the site is. It raised an eyebrow, because it may be intentionally implanted to do that, or it might be correct. So that's why I give people a heads up. And you think about it, doorway to hell, and then you had Anubis there. I think this Anubis statue went on a world tour, like the Arch of Baal. And you're like, why would you have, the statue of Anubis, who guarded the underworld, the door to the underworld, and amongst many other things? Makes you think. And that's all we ask in videos, is to make you think, trying to look at old topics, one of the community's favourites, because we've all looked at Denver and gone, fucking hell, pardon the French, that's a weird ass airport, that. From the statue, when you're coming in, to the murals, to how it's designed. I mean, I put in the clip from the old architects, and obviously it'll have been changed since then, but you can see the contempt and the smirkiness of his things. It's like, you can see he knows what's going on and the significance of the architecture. And that's why I put these things in, just to show you for yourself. I mean, you can research all these things all you want. I didn't put loads into this because I wanted it to be my own take and my own style, if that makes sense, because people always miss, you forgot to put this in, you forgot to put this in, it's always something you could forget to put in. What my channel is for something different and my own style. I just like to have it to flow in my unique way. When you watch this, you'll go, yeah, it's a What the Flock TV content, and that's how it should be. We do things how we feel, and I'm getting back to more to that, instead of pampering to people who are complaining. If you don't like it, don't watch it, because I ain't gonna reply. I'm tired of being really nice to people who don't deserve me being nice, and having it been shoved back in my face. For so long, people say stick up for yourself, which I do, but I am just a polite person, and people take that for weakness, and they shouldn't, but people do. They like to walk all over you, and that's why I'm slowly walking away from the community. I'm still making content. I maybe stop in the future and just put no comments. I might even just go under a pseudonym, because I don't like where the community's going. I've tried my best. I've tried jumping in. I've been trying to get people to think differently, think it's okay to be different. If you don't believe in this, say you don't believe in this. Follow your heart. But people are just following people you can see are no good for the community. But that's where the free will comes in. And that's why you don't see me making videos saying you shouldn't do this, because we all have to learn the hard way from our mistakes. You'll never get a told you so off me. People who want to watch me who've left, I welcome them back. Just respect me, respect people in the chat. When I do premiere or in the comments, I'm seeing a lot more people arguing in the comments, and sometimes you just want to delete the comments, but I leave them there. Very petulant it's getting, and maybe that's because times is hard, but we shouldn't forget you've also got good nature and love in you, and positivity, but not freaky positivity. be nice, do one good deed, because that goes a long way. And I want people in the community who want to be open and look at these old topics and think, you know what else can we find? What else did Paul not mention? A lot! Because some of these old topics are good to go back on. Because people were asking me, and I'm like, oh, I've not looked in Ant to ages, and I'm watching it again. I'm like, that's a good point. Still not heard anyone talking about the sword or anything like that still. So I'll put this onto my channel. So hopefully people like it and enjoy just that little bit of difference. I mean, there's no point me saying, oh, what's going on at Denver Airport? You can see for yourself, they're mocking you in plain sight. Now, is it me thinking too much? Is it done intentionally or is it not done? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes when we overthink things, it's like they're doing it intentionally to mock us because they're really doing something there. Or is it playing on this conspiracy type of thing, the nature of you wanting to look into it? Do you know what I mean? Get you over here looking at this while you don't look over here at that. It could well be, but it's still fun to go back. And some of the points that I make in the video, some of the 11s are intriguing. The flaming sword, that was a wow to me. And hopefully you guys are enjoying life, staying safe, and always wearing a smile. I really do appreciate you guys. And the reason I appreciate it is because I'm still here. For a long time, I've been talking with people about just calling time on it. Because I used to get excited. You know how I do, I get excited with it. I'm not getting excited anymore making videos because of how people are. And it's just like, is it time? And then if I realise I will miss you guys, so I'm just going to do what I can when I can. Sometimes you'll get a burst of 3-4 little. Sometimes it could be 2, 3, 4 weeks, but I'm still here and I do appreciate you guys. I don't think I'll be doing any collabs anymore. Not that is that reflect on anyone, it's just how I'm reflecting on the community in general. If people want the dark side to be idyllic and idolized, and you can just quite see it's a no, it really puts me off. And we should, you know, we're not here to all agree, you know what I mean? That's the nature, that's what we forget. It's okay to disagree, but it's how you disagree is what is wrong with this community at the minute. It is a con. We don't need gatekeepers because we're doing it ourselves. But, you know, I'm just going to enjoy making things when I can and seeing your brilliant comments, because they really, really do lift me. You know what I mean? And it's hard not to make snap judgments when life is being life. You know what I mean? And I'm a fighter. And that's why I'm still here. And I just love you guys. So I do appreciate the support. Again, like, share and subscribe. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little bit different. I might start looking into something about Eden and things like that in the States. Let's put that on the back burner to look into. See what else people's making on that. And hopefully you've enjoyed it. So I won't see you in the chat because I'm not premiering it. I'm just going to put it up. But no guys, I do really truly appreciate you. And stay dry. If anyone's having a storm in the UK, hopefully you're safe and well, and anyone else has had storms lately around the world, stay safe. Don't forget to smile and do pay it forward. Much love. Bye guys. Bye. Come on, where's the button?